What's the best potato to use for baked potatoes? Good question. Make sure to use potatoes that are high in starch that have a mealy texture like russet or Idaho. They have a low moisture flesh that becomes really fluffy and absorbent when cooked, perfect for soaking up butter. When selecting potatoes at the store, there's a lot of variability due to the harvest. I look for potatoes that are about 1 ounce in weight and difference. It's really important that they're as close together so that you have even cooking. Select potatoes that are similar in shape. This one is a lot thinner versus this thick potato, which is going to take longer to cook. For a hearty portion size, I recommend about an 8 ounce to 12 ounce potato. When you're ready to prepare the potato, make sure to rinse it really well with cool water. There's a lot of dirt and debris on the surface, so you want to clean that off. Aluminum is great for conducting and trapping heat. However, when I did some tests, I found that it didn't accelerate the cook time. It actually took longer to cook because it took some time for the heat to go through the foil barrier. Wrapping the potatoes in foil is great if you're going to be grilling or barbecuing them to protect it from getting burnt on the surface. However, if you're going to enjoy them right away, I recommend to keep it unwrapped. The skin won't get as crispy when it's wrapped in foil, so leave it exposed so you have that nice contrast in texture. If you're not serving the potatoes right away, you can wrap it in foil. It'll stay warm for about an hour. This is my method for making foolproof baked potatoes. Poke the surface of the potatoes about 8 times. This is going to release any steam so that they don't explode or crack in the oven. Make about 1/8 of an inch deep pokes. I like to eat the potato skins because they're high in fiber and nutrition, but I also want it to taste good. So we're going to season the surface with some olive oil. This prevents the skins from drying out and makes them super crispy. Season it with some coarse salt. Just sprinkle it on top. Flip the potatoes over so you can season the other side. You can also add some pepper if you'd like. Place the potatoes on a baking sheet with a wire rack on top. This is going to allow the hot air to circulate around the potato for even cooking, and you don't have to flip it. If you don't have a wire rack, you can place it directly on the sheet pan. Just make sure to line it with foil and flip it halfway through. Bake the potatoes in a 400-degree oven for about 70 to 80 minutes. The potatoes are ready when they pierce easily with the fork in the center, and it reaches between 200 to 210 degrees. What's the quickest way to make a baked potato? Use the microwave. This is a great technique to use, especially if you're just making 1 or 2 and you don't have a lot of time. Prick the potato about 8 times on the surface. This will prevent it from exploding in the microwave. Brush the surface with a little bit of olive oil. This is going to prevent the potato from drying out and give it a little more flavor. Season with some salt. It's important to cook 1 potato at a time for even cooking, and we're going to start by cooking it for 5 minutes on high setting. Cook in 1-minute intervals until the center of the potato pierces easily with a fork, about 3 to 7 minutes depending on size. Wait, did you know that you can make baked potatoes in a slow cooker? Oh yeah, if you're not in a hurry and you're making a large batch to use for later, this is the perfect vessel to cook it in. These potatoes are about 11 to 12 ounces in size and have already been washed. Prick the surface about 8 times, an 1/8 inch deep. This gives a nice vent so that the potatoes could release their steam and not crack. Lightly oil the surface of each potato with olive oil or vegetable oil. This is going to prevent the potatoes from drying out, and it helps for the salt to stick on top. Season the surface with a little bit of coarse kosher salt. This is going to add a nice savory taste to the skin. You could even add some black pepper if you'd like. Wrap each potato in some foil. This prevents the potato skin from burning when it comes into contact with the Crock-Pot insert. Add the potatoes in a single layer inside of the slow cooker. Don't select potatoes larger than 12 ounces or they won't fit. On high setting, it'll take about 4 to 5 hours. If they sit too long in the pot, the flesh is going to start to turn brown in color and get really condensed and soggy, and also start to develop a bitter flavor as the starches start to overcook. So take them out of the pot right when they're done cooking. The foil will keep them warm for about an hour. Grab your Instant Pot because we're going to make baked potatoes in half the time. To prevent the potatoes from exploding in the high pressure system, make sure you grab a fork. Prick the potato all around about 8 times. I like to do 3 on one side, 1 on the side, flip it over, and make about an 1/8 inch pricks. The holes allow the steam that builds up to escape, and it prevents the skin from cracking. To elevate the potatoes, add the rack insert inside the pot. Make sure they're in a single layer. Add 1 cup of water to the pot. Add the lid on top and make sure it's on the sealing position. The cook time is based on potato size. The ones I'm using are about 11 ounces, so we're going to cook it on manual high pressure for 16 minutes. Make sure to check out the full recipe if you want the different cook times for different sizes. The potatoes are done pressure cooking, but let it naturally release for about 15 minutes. This is going to allow the potatoes to finish cooking all the way through to the center, so just give it some time. Carefully remove the lid so that no steam hits your face. Ooh! A perfectly baked potato in the pressure cooker. Here's the best way to cut open a potato. Use a paring knife and cut it about halfway through. Then use your fingers to push in the sides. This pops the flesh up and out of the skin. If it's really hot, just place some paper towels on the side so you don't burn your fingertips. Now you can use a fork to fluff up the flesh. Now you have a perfectly baked potato. Let me check my fridge. I think I got something for you. Okay, now I've got some options. Keep it classic with some butter, pepper, and salt, some creamy ranch sauce, cool sour cream, barbecue sauce, buffalo sauce if you like it spicy, and crispy smoky bacon. Roasted chili peppers for some heat, freshly sliced green onions, sharp cheddar cheese. And for extra protein, we can add some chicken. A little bit of salt and pepper. Add some shredded cheese so that it melts with the potato. Barbecue style with some chicken. Tossed in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce. Topped with a little bit of crispy bacon and green onions. All right, if you like it hot, let's add a little bit of sour cream to cool things down. Some roasted green chilies. A little bit of cheddar cheese, and spicy buffalo chicken. Ooh, and green onions for a pop of color. Now I know you're gonna like this. Now that you know how to make the perfect baked potato, which method will you try next? And what is your favorite topping? For the full recipe and instructions, make sure to check out jessicagavin.com. Happy cooking!